Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. And it's again that day of the week. Well, it's not Saturday, it's Sunday. It's a little bit later, and that's totally fine. What a week, though. A lot of eventful things happen in my life. Mostly like some negative, some difficult things, but trying to open my mind to the positivity, which is what I'm striving to do, and remembering what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So this week I had a lot of difficulty mentally, partly because I was adding pressure from illness. I was worried about getting content out on time. I think that's one of the biggest ones, but the biggest obstacle with that was illness. I was just out of it. I was sick. I'm still a little congested, but I'm getting way better than I was. Anytime I had rest though, I tried to rest. But the one thing that kind of helped me get past it this week was reminding myself why I'm doing the content in the first place. And we're going to get into that. But before we do, I do have a script here that I am going to be going through. I have an article that I read before I did this. It is from the Mental Game Clinic. I will have a link in the description both on YouTube and on Spotify if you take a chance, not chance, if you take the time to read it, I would really appreciate it. I don't get anything from it. I think it's a great article, just to kind of help you remind yourself that even though pressure exists, it doesn't have to control you. Anxiety doesn't have to control you, but we're going to kind of break down what it's discussing with mental block because I felt that this week. So I'm going to start with reading, and I did paraphrase some of it. So mental block, according to the Mental Game Clinic, the Mental Game Clinic discusses it as a mental block isn't just in your imagination, it is a real neurological response. When the brain perceives threat, even if it's just from fear of failure or embarrassment, it activates your fight or flight system. The freak out, like if your child was stuck in a car, you would just instantly be able to have enormous strength without even thinking. That rush of adrenaline can override your muscle memory and throw off your timing, rhythm, and ability to think clearly, hence the block. In these moments, your brain is trying to protect you. It just doesn't always do it in helpful ways. And the article makes a couple recommendations in these moments, like if you're going through a lot of pressure and a lot of just mental anxiety or anything like that. It gives. I wrote down 3 of the recommendations. It had, I think, 4 or 5, but you'd have to read the article to read those. So I'm going to go through them one by one. The first one that it recommends is rebuild trust with low pressure repetition. I'm using the example of working out because that's the most common one that is discussed these days. Working out is one of those things that a lot of people have a goal to get into, but they don't go through it. I've done it myself. Partly, and I would say my biggest struggle with that is I go in with this mentality of getting back in shape and I move too quickly. I try to do things too hard, or I'm doing things too heavy, too early. Instead of walking in with just a low pressure idea of what I can do, one recommendation that I did read from other people when they were talking about it early on, first couple weeks, write down what you want to work on and set goals for yourself. So let's say you want to do 8 reps of this item of like bench press or lat pull downs. And the first time you pull the weight, it's too heavy, reduce the weight until you get to a point that's kind of comfortable to do 8 for that week, and just kind of repeatedly do that and track it. Actually, tracking it, there's plenty of studies out there that recommend that tracking your progress of what you're doing helps promote more repetition and more vision of what you're trying to do in the weight room. But another thing that was brought up is possibly having a trainer. A trainer might be able to see something that you don't. They might be able to help you reduce the pressure that you're putting on yourself with the weight room. Especially the biggest pressure of all is dreading going to the weight room. There's going to be days that that's going to happen, but building those repetitions, those low pressure repetitions, can help make it easier for you to deal with in the very least, and make it something that you don't really dread or fear. But then that kind of dips into the next thing. When you get to that point, the article recommends using visualization to create a new internal script, such as picturing yourself accomplishing tasks without fear. So this is something that you're not currently doing, but this is something that you can see coming, and doing it with confidence, which, guess what, is going to take low pressure repetition. So let's go back to the weight room as a perfect example. Let's say you have a goal and a mindset of doing 175 bench press 10 times. Or even, for that matter, 3 reps of 5. Let's three sets of 5. Let's say that's your goal, and you're currently doing 110. Well, what the article is recommending is that you put yourself in a position where you can visualize yourself doing that. And what that becomes is a goal. And it's narrowing the gap of where you're at, where you want to be, and you're building towards that. And the more repetitions you put here, the easier it is to see yourself getting here. But you have to keep that mindset, you have to keep that goal. You've probably heard it all the time. But you have to take all these low pressure repetitions constantly to slowly, like it could take you 2 years to get there. But it's not how long it takes, it's the fact that you're getting there. And that's what the visualization is doing, and it's building that internal script in your brain, and it makes it less difficult to do. The third recommendation is replace pressure with curiosity. Such questions as asking what if I did this, what could happen? Like if I up the weight, or if I up the rep, what could possibly happen? There's all kinds of articles about those different things in the physical health, what is it called? Physical health world. Like there's so many different studies and information and dialogue that exists. There's tons of it. You have to kind of sift through some of it, because some of them are just people trying things, which is actually what this is recommending. But it's asking the question, if I did more reps, what would that produce? If I'm doing more weight, what would that produce? When should I do more weight? That goes back to documenting everything, to the low pressure repetitions, feeling how your body reacts to it. It's all kind of interconnected with that. And then ask yourself what's truly going on in the moment. Like, what is currently right now preventing me from building where I want to go? Am I ready for this yet? Am I not ready for this yet? Or is it something that I can do now? Like, asking those kinds of questions makes it easier to deal with. You can visualize it, and you can make low pressure repetition. That is all kind of a mindset, like mind reset, in that article that is discussing. And it's something I'm trying to implement. Partly because part of the pressure that's happened this week, well, there's 3 things. One of them is financial. The other one was illness related to content, because it slowed me down, and I thought, am I going to get back on the content train and continue to go? Because I really enjoy it, because I've been thinking about the algorithm and missing out and all this stuff. And I was reminded, because I've had a lot of conversations with ChatGPT, I was reminded why I'm doing what I'm doing. And we're going to get into that later, but remembering why I do the content that I do has no time limit to it. It has no FOMO to it. It just has content to it. The other one was financial. And it's just partly because I'm not hitting the goals where I want to yet. I haven't hit that point yet. But there's a lot of work I still need to do. And again, I had to remind myself that it doesn't have to be now. Like, I don't have to be at that financial space right now. One asset that I have is time. Time is extremely important and extremely valuable. And I need to remember how much time I truly do have. I have a lot more than I believe. There are days I'm really tired, sure. But there are days that I have more time than I can handle, and I need to execute that accordingly. And then the final one, this one is, a lot of people are kind of going to roll their eyes at this one, but this one is a real pressure for me. And that's Valentine's Day is right around the corner. There's quite a few people, especially if you've been married or dating or anything like that. It doesn't really, I mean, to some people, like, I would like to have a date for Valentine's Day. I'm gonna be open and honest here. I've never had one, like, official. I've been on dates with people on Valentine's Day. They were being kind to me because the people I asked said no, and I appreciate those people that are like, yeah, sure, whatever, let's go do that. And I do appreciate them, I do, but I've been single all my life, so one of the things that I kind of dread seeing is couples, new forming couples more specifically. It kind of hurts. It really does because it's something I wanted and it's something I haven't had. But at the same token, like, I kind of hit this dormant state in my life for so long that I wasn't even trying anymore. I wasn't trying at all. I wasn't making myself available for people. I wasn't stepping out or even asking. I was just existing. And when I remind myself of what's going on, just as this is suggesting in the article, it makes it a lot easier for me to deal with. But at the same token, it wasn't fun. And it took me a whole week of reflection of being ill and all this different stuff to realize that even though Valentine's Day exists and I've been single all my life, it doesn't have to be difficult to deal with. It can be something fun. But if I truly want that to matter to me, I need to do something about it. I need to execute on it. I need to, if I have to game plan, okay, I want to ask people out. How am I going to do that? Where am I going to do that? Because I know that online dating, specifically for me, is a disaster. So many people are not honest with why they're there. There are people that are there for friends. I'm not there for friends. I'm there for dating. There are people that are there for all kinds of other stuff that I don't want to get into. Some of them illegal, but I need to step off of that and step into something that is more beneficial to the goals that I have with that. And I guess my main goal is just to start dating. Like, not taking it super serious early on, date to date, and go from there. That's like it. Because I would love to have a wife. I really would. But as far as kids are concerned, I'm almost 40. I don't know what kind of quality of life I would provide for a child anymore, but again, I don't know. And if that does come about, I have to make them a priority, obviously. But I also need to, if all that stuff happens, I need to make the relationship a priority as well. But that's kind of like my little opening up to you all. But that also kind of dips into reminding myself of the goals that I have and all the different things that I have to get past those struggles, such as Valentine's Day, financial stuff, and understanding how much time I have, and the content goal. And you've kind of seen it a little bit. I've talked about it a couple times indirectly. Like, this year's theme is progress over perfection. But for as far as content is concerned, everything that I've been trying to do is to be helpful. I want to be helpful, and I'm trying to make content that is an extension of that. This content here is just designed to help us get past things, help us work through things, help us prepare our minds for the week or the next day even. My entire content build is just an extension of myself and what I want to be. And that's helpful. My gaming content is just a place where people can go, enjoy, not feel pressure, not feel like you have to be the best at any game. It's just enjoyment. It's just fun. And that's an extension of what I want to be, and that's helpful. And the yearly theme is an extension of that as well. I mean, progress over perfection, because we're human beings. There's no way we can be perfect. But we can still progress, we can still grow, we can still develop, and we can still be better every day. And that's my hope this year with not only content, but life. Life I really want to be better at, because, I mean, let's face it, COVID ruined a lot. and we're all trying to rewire ourselves and relearn ourselves to be better than we have in the past, and I want to be there to help if I can. I'm not someone that's going to be the strongest person for advice, but I'm going to be the one that's trying to be supportive of whatever you're trying to do. For those of you who have been a part of this so far and have noticed what I have been doing, I just want to say thank you. We've got a whole plethora of time this year to go through. This is only the first month that I transitioned from doing like maybe one piece of content or two pieces of content a week to like almost content every single day. And I'm thankful for all those who have joined with that and have been a part of that. And I hope I have been a blessing to your life, because I know even if you're only watching like 20 seconds of a short video, you've been a blessing to mine. And I appreciate it. And I hope that you have a wonderful, blessed week this week. But until next time, see you later.